Let's talk about subject and verb in a German sentence. So, what is the subject and verb agreement? What is the grammatical agreement? And because we will talk about subject, sooner or later we will start to use the term the nominative case. So, nominative case is the function of a noun in a sentence as a subject. So, that's why we have to use this term. And we will see how subject and verb will act in a German sentence. Let's imagine the story. Let's imagine the sentence, a man is playing football, soccer. So this is a picture of a man, and let's write a sentence about this man. And the sentence will say, Der Mann spielt Fußball. Okay, let's analyze the sentence. First question we will ask ourselves, so what's going on in this sentence? So obviously we talk about a game, play, spielen, to play. But who is doing this? Who is the performer of the action in this sentence? And this is our man. And now we understand that man performs action, so plays soccer, so man is the subject of this sentence. And we identify this noun as a subject. Now we understand that a noun may have a role of a subject in a sentence. And I will tell you that there is no complete sentences in language without a subject mentioned in this sentence. Sometimes we replace subject by personal pronouns, but subject still exists in a sentence. And if you see a sentence without a subject, this is not a complete sentence. This is some kind of phrase. For example, when your friends will tell you, hey, let's go together to movies, you will answer sure. So this sure is not a sentence, it's just a phrase, okay? But in complete sentences, there are always two elements present. One element is a verb, and another element is a subject. So if you read, for example, a text and you analyze a sentence, first step, what you need to do is to find the verb, and the second step is to find the subject of this sentence. Okay, der Mann, our subject. Okay, but what about, we talk not about people. I mean, people can perform different actions, but we talk about items, things. Let's say we give the sentence about this computer, and let's imagine the computer costs so much money. So we say, der Computer kostet 800 Euro. Okay, we analyze this sentence again from linguistical point of view. We would say that there is a subject in this sentence as well. So the subject is computer, der Computer. And again, computer, this noun, has the function of a subject in a sentence. Okay, but what's about we talk about something absolutely abstract? For example, the weather. So what is the weather? It's some kind of physical conditions outside. You cannot see the weather. You can see trees or lake or sky or grass, but all together it gives you some kind of concept of the weather. And we can say very simple sentence, the weather is good. Das Wetter ist schön in German. Okay, das Wetter ist schön. Again, we analyze the sentence, we definitely can find the verb ist, and we would say that weather, is our subject. So, and we identify it as a subject. So let's summarize once again all three cases. People, der Mann spielt Fußball, our subject is der Mann. Items, things. Der Computer kostet 800 Euro. Der Computer is our subject. And abstract them. Das Wetter ist schön. Das Wetter is a subject. So as you see, subjects may be people or things, items and concepts, so practically any nouns we know in language. And look, they all have definite articles in this case. So definite articles belong to nouns. You remember we use them together with nouns or articles all, together. And because our nouns are used as subjects and they have a specific function, we call this function the nominative case. The nominative case, as you understand now, is modified by definite articles of nouns, but not only definite articles. So we can use indefinite articles with our nouns, or we can use another words, for example, possessive adjectives, demonstrative pronouns. We will cover them much later. So we understand that one of functions of a noun in a sentence is a nominative case. It happens only when this specific noun acts as a subject in a sentence. Okay, let's go back to our man. You remember, der Mann spielt Fußball. And you remember that our subject is man, yeah? And when we analyze this word, we will see that the word is used in in singular form. So it's only one man who plays soccer, obviously. So this is a singular form of a noun. Okay, but we can always imagine the situation when two people, two men will play soccer. And we can create a sentence saying, Die Männer spielen Fußball. Now we talk about men, many, and our subject is now used in the plural form. So we do understand that subject and noun may be used in a sentence in singular form or in plural form. And how can we distinguish? There is a tip, there is a recommendation for you. Look, if you take closer look on the ending of the verb, you see that we change the ending. Compare the first sentence with the second one. In the first sentence, we use ending t, spielt. In the second sentence, we need to change the ending of a verb because we have specific agreement between a verb and a subject. Verb must agree with the subject by adding specific endings. So in this case, ending en, ending for plural form of the verb, because we have our subject in the plural form. Die Männer spielen Fußball. Okay, so let's imagine child is playing soccer and let's name this child. Let's say it's Peter. And we create very nice sentence. Peter spielt Fußball. Now we understand that Peter is our subject and spielt is our verb. Let's create some kind of formula, some kind of linguistic formula we can use in the future. What we can do, we just use the first letters of subject and verb, and we understand that there is an agreement between subject and verb, and let's identify it. Yeah, something like that. So what I would like to tell you guys, subject and verb, they always are used together because of this connection, because of this agreement between them. There is no other word you can insert between your subject and the verb. In English we can say I obviously will go or something like that. No, in German we always use subject and verb together. We do not insert another elements between, and um, we always, when you try to find subject, when you identified your verb, you do understand that subject must be very close to the verb, somewhere very, very close. So preceding or using after the verb, and we'll come to this. Okay, so Peter spielt Fußball. This is our sentence. And let's create another sentence. Two guys, two kids playing soccer. Let's name them. One is Peter and another one is Michael. So this is our sentence in German. Peter und Michael spielen Fußball. So now you remember the verb will change. We'll use another ending, spielen. Now we talk about this. But look what we have now. We have two subjects, two nouns which act as subject. We have Peter and we have Michael. So here we change our formula and we say subject 1, Peter, is connected by using a coordinating conjunction and to the second subject, Michael, and then both subjects are connected to the same verb, spielen, because both kids, they play at the same time. So we have subject 1 and subject 2 connected to one verb. Good. Let's analyze another situation. What's about we have many subjects and they perform many different actions at the same time. Well, let's say we imagine the situation when kids are on the picnic, and what kids doing on the picnic, they're eating and drinking. So we have this very nice sentence. Peter und Anna essen sandwiches und trinken Cola. So Peter and Anna, they eat sandwiches and drink cola. Okay, and when we analyze this sentence, we will figure out that we have two subjects, two kids, Peter and Anna, and they perform at the same time two different actions. They eat and drink. So this is our formula now. We have to understand that it may happen
that in one sentence you may find many nouns with the same function as subjects, and you may find many verbs, and you have still this agreement between subjects and verbs. And we have such a long formula. Okay, let's analyze something else. There is another rule about subjects and verbs in German sentences. Let's imagine this situation, analyze this, describe this picture. The kids play soccer, and I would like to add plays, verb, in park. So this is our sentence. Die Kinder spielen im Park Fußball. Let's analyze this sentence as linguists. So we obviously can find the subject, so kids. We obviously can find the verb, they play. So this is our subject plus verb agreement. You see that we have ending en at the end of the verb, and you understand why, because we have many kids, so plural. Kids, Kinder is only one noun, but it is used in the plural form. We covered it before. But what else do we have here? So yeah, we have subject plus verb agreement. So classical example. And then we have something else in this sentence. We have two more elements. And one element, which I will highlight like pink, this is place. It's a prepositional object. It's description of place. So it's in park. It's happening in park. We can put something like that in our formal place. The last element is Fußball, so sports. Keep in mind, guys, if in German language you describe the situation and you play some kind of sport or somebody plays some sport, there is a rule. You have to push the sport to the end of the sentence. So that's why football is now at the end of the sentence, okay? Good. So let's take a look at this formula again. So what we have subject. Subject is connected to the verb because of this agreement. And then after the verb, we have the place. Okay. Now, what I would like to do, I would like to rewrite this sentence. I would like to use place, where the children play soccer, but at the beginning of the sentence. I would like to start my sentence with place. So practically doing something like that. Start my sentence with im Park. So how can I do it? I write im Park. I just use this element at the first position. What happening now? Something interesting will happen, and we do not have it in English language. In English, we will put comma after park, and we will continue in a sentence saying kids play soccer. So we'll still start with subject, but there is a strict rule in the German language. As long as first position in the sentence, and right now we have position of place. So as long as the first position in the sentence is taken by any element, verb of a sentence must be always in the second grammatical position. So practically what I need to do now, I have to fill out the second grammatical position, but only by the verb. So I put my verb after park. I do not put comma. In German, we don't put this comma. No? So, and what next I need to do? You remember this grammatical agreement. You remember that we talked that subject is always as close as possible to the verb. I have to use my subject after the verb. And then I finish my sentence with the play, with the direct object. So this is my sentence. Im Park spielen die Kinder Fußball. As you see now, our subject, die Kinder, is used after the verb. So first grammatical position is taken by the place, and then we have a verb, and then we have the subject. So we call it the inverse word order. We need to use this inverse word order, first verb, then subject. Always when we start our sentence with another element, but not with a subject. When the first position in the sentence is taken by, let's say, like in the same case, by place, or very often we start with time, saying, for example, tomorrow I do this, or on Monday, or another elements of time, or element of manner, how I'm doing this. So always when you put something in the first grammatical position, second, third, after your element of time, place, or manner must be the verb. This is very strict rule. And if you read a sentence and you will try to identify the subject plus verb agreement, you keep in mind, as long as you will find your verb in a sentence, you do understand where is the place for you to look for a subject. So subject may precede the verb. So subject may be the noun which is used in front of a verb, or subject, in case when we use an inverse word order, subject may be used directly after the verb. Okay, so this information will make it easier for you to find subject plus verb agreement in any sentence.